Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're diving into something that affects every New Zealander every 3 years, the way we actually elect our government. New Zealand uses a system called MMP, which stands for Mixed Member Proportional. It's been our electoral system since 1996, and once you understand how it works, you'll never look at an election the same way again. Let's break it down. The two votes. So, the first thing to know is that when you walk into a polling booth in New Zealand, you don't just cast one vote, you cast two. The first is your party vote. This is where you choose which political party you want to support. And here's the key thing, this is the more important of your two votes because it determines how many seats each party gets in Parliament overall. The second is your electorate vote. This is where you vote for a specific person to represent your local area, your electorate. Think of it like voting for your local MP directly. Two votes, two different purposes. Simple enough so far. The electorates. Let's talk about those electorates a bit more. New Zealand is divided into 72 geographic electorates, local areas, each represented by one MP. Whoever gets the most votes in that area wins the seat. It's a straightforward first-past-the-post contest at the local level. Now, 7 of those electorates are Maori electorates, dedicated seats for voters who choose to be on the Maori electoral roll. This is an important feature of our system that reflects New Zealand's commitment to Maori political representation, party lists. Here's where MMP gets interesting. Before every election, each party publishes what's called a party list, a ranked list of their candidates. So if a party earns, say, 30% of the party vote but only wins 10 electorate seats, they need more MPs to make up the difference. Those extra MPs are pulled from the party list in order until the numbers match up. This means some MPs don't represent a specific electorate at all. They're list MPs, and they got into Parliament because of how well their party performed overall. Seat allocation. So, how does Parliament actually decide how many seats each party gets? Parliament has a baseline of 120 seats, and after the election, those seats are divided up according to each party's share of the party vote, using a mathematical formula called the Sant-Lage method. Don't worry too much about the formula. The point is it produces a broadly proportional result. But here's the catch. Not every party gets a slice of that pie. To qualify for seats, a party needs to clear at least one of two hurdles. The first is the 5% threshold. They need to win at least 5% of the party vote nationwide. The second is the one electorate rule, sometimes called coattailing. If a party wins even one electorate seat, they can still bring in additional MPs proportional to their party vote, even if they didn't hit 5%. This rule has been controversial, but it's kept several smaller parties alive in Parliament over the years. Overhang seats. Now, occasionally, something called an overhang happens. This is when a party wins more electorate seats than their party vote would normally entitle them to. In that case, they keep all those seats, but to maintain proportionality for everyone else, Parliament temporarily expands beyond 120 seats. Those extra seats are called overhang seats. It doesn't happen often, but it has come up in New Zealand elections. Forming a government. All right, so once all the votes are counted and the seats are allocated, what happens next? Well, because MMP produces proportional results, it's rare for any single party to win an outright majority. That means parties have to work together to form a government. The largest party will usually start negotiations with smaller parties. There are two main ways this plays out. The first is a coalition, where 2 or more parties formally share power, with ministers from multiple parties sitting around the cabinet table. The second is a confidence and supply agreement, where a smaller party agrees to support the government on key votes, like the budget and votes of no confidence, without actually joining the cabinet. This is why New Zealand politics involves a lot of negotiation, compromise, and deal-making after election night. Why it matters. So why does all of this matter? Because MMP fundamentally shapes the kind of democracy New Zealand has. It means your vote is rarely wasted. A party with 10% of the vote gets roughly 10% of the seats. It encourages a diversity of voices in parliament. It keeps local representation alive through electorate MPs, and it gives voters real flexibility. You can split your vote supporting a local candidate from one party while giving your party vote to another. It's not a perfect system. No system is, but it's one that New Zealanders chose and have since voted to keep.